still only in her 20s, Beyonce Knowles freely admits that life is pretty good.
I'm very blessed. I've had an amazing family, and I think I have unconditional love. And regardless if I'm a celebrity, singer, whatever, I have a life outside of that. I don't define my life by my success as a star, superstar, or whatever you want to call it. I do what I do because I love it, and I'm grateful that I have support and people that tell me the truth in my life.
Beyonce's charmed life began in Houston, Texas in 1981. By the age of 7, she was winning talent competitions. And just 1 year later, she and best friend Kelly Rowland were rapping and dancing in a group called Girls Time, which went on to become Destiny's Child. Beyonce's salesman father Matthew had so much faith in his eldest daughter's talent that he abandoned his 6-figure salary to manage her singing career. That bold decision was rewarded in 1996 when Destiny's Child was signed to Columbia Records. The group, which included another of Beyonce's childhood friends, Latavia Robertson, as well as LaToya Luckett, recorded a song called Killing Time, which found its way onto the Men in Black soundtrack in 1997. That was swiftly followed up by their self-titled debut album. The album went gold and featured the lead single No No No, but they had to wait another year to hit the big time. Their second album, The Writings on the Wall, peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200. In the year 2000, the group saw a few lineup changes, with LaToya and Latavia being replaced by Michelle Williams and Farrah Franklin. Farrah soon dropped out, clearing the way for Beyonce, Kelly and Michelle to become the most successful female group of all time. Michelle was soon made to feel part of the family.
It's like a marriage. You know how you need communication, you need love and loyalty and trust. What else, ladies?
It's very few times that you find that perfect person. That's really rare. So it's not easy, and it isn't like one thing that you can say. It just has to be natural, and we don't have to force our friendship. We just really enjoy each other, and it was always natural for us.
Michelle joined the group just in time to record their third album, Survivor. Co-produced by Beyonce, the album went straight to number 1 on the Billboard charts and spawned the hits Independent Woman Part 1, Bootylicious, and the title single Survivor, written by Beyonce and her father Matthew. Survivor went on to win the group their 3rd Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group. After racking up several Billboard Music honors, 2 Soul Train Lady of Soul Awards, as well as an American Music Award, they took some time out to concentrate on solo projects. However, 3 years later, they were back in the studio together to record their 4th and final album, Destiny Fulfilled. This time, all 3 members took on writing and producing duties, and the album went on to sell nearly 500,000 copies in its first week, confirming their status as the biggest-selling girl group of all time. Topping it all off with a worldwide concert tour to promote the album, they announced to fans in June 2005 that after 14 years together, it was time to go their separate ways and pursue their individual goals.
We don't like the word breakup. It sounds really sad. We like to say that it's the end of a chapter in our lives. And it's been 14 years. And everything cannot last forever. Destiny Fulfilled is the title of the album. It's not a coincidence. This was something that we thought about, and it was really important for us to end this chapter when we were successful still, and not because one person wants to go solo, or not because we don't like each other, or because we're not selling records anymore, but because it has to end at a certain point, and we all have different personal things we want to do and things with our careers that we want to do.
And in fact, that wasn't to be their last public appearance together. 8 months later, they teamed up again to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It was a chance for Beyoncé to reflect on the journey that had begun more than 15 years earlier.
I want to thank everyone for being here, and thank you for supporting us. We started when we were 9 years old, and here we are getting a Hollywood star. Dreams come true. So thank y'all so much for supporting us. God bless you.
At just 25 years of age, Beyoncé had not only fulfilled her destiny as one-third of the world's biggest-selling female group, she was already 3 years into a successful solo career, which had begun with the release of Dangerously in Love in 2003. Sitting in the producer seat, she collaborated with the likes of Missy Elliott, Big Boy, Sean Paul, and boyfriend Jay-Z to showcase a more intimate side of herself than she was able to reveal as part of a trio.
Basically, I wanted people to get a feel for me. And the album is vulnerable. It's a lot more vulnerable than Destiny's Child's album because we've always been really strong. And I'm still strong, but I wanted people to see me differently and realize that I'm still human.
Determined to get everything right for his daughter's big debut, her manager father kept pushing back the release of the album. And after long deliberations about which song should be the lead single, they settled on Crazy in Love, and the album was finally released in June 2003, much to Beyoncé's relief.
I'm very anxious. I'm very excited. I'm happy. I have so many great things happening for me right now, and I'm nervous, but the nervousness is good. It makes me feel like, okay, something is gonna happen.
And she was right. Dangerously in Love debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, selling over 300,000 copies in the first week, and eventually clocking up sales of 5 million worldwide. The singles Crazy in Love and Baby Boy also made it to the top of the charts. Her phenomenal success put her in the box seat for the 2004 Grammy Awards, where she was scheduled to perform with Prince. She ended up going home with a massive haul of 5, including Best Female R&B Vocal Performance for Dangerously in Love 2, Best R&B Song for Crazy in Love, and Best Contemporary R&B Album. After the big night, she was still feeling overwhelmed.
I cannot believe it. I'm like this. Like, I don't know what to feel. It's unbelievable. Where do you think you're gonna put all these Grammys? I have 3. My mother has 3 actually from Destiny's Child, so I'll probably put the other 5. That's crazy.
After that, Beyoncé was everywhere, performing at every prestigious event from the Super Bowl to the Academy Awards, as well as recording another album with Destiny's Child and embarking on yet another career as an actress. In fact, her ridiculously busy schedule forced her to postpone plans to record a follow-up to Dangerously in Love until early 2006. Back in the studio with collaborators Rich Harrison, Rodney Jenkins, and Sean Garrett, she decided to call the album B-Day, and its US release was coordinated to coincide with her quarter-century anniversary on the 4th of September 2006.
The best birthday gift is for my album to be received really well. And I think I'm just gonna have like an intimate dinner with my friends and hopefully some good food. I'm gonna have a party after an award show in New York on the 31st, but it's gonna be like a big party with a lot of people, so I won't be able to relax. So I'll do it on my actual birthday, just at home, private, intimate dinner.
Instead, she decided to spend the big day kicking her heels up with fans in Japan.
How y'all doing tonight? I can't believe I'm here with you guys celebrating my 25th B-Day. This is the most amazing cake I've ever seen in my life. Wow.
There were more celebrations to come after B-Day hit the top of the Billboard charts. with sales of more than 500,000 in its first week of release. Another collaboration with Jay-Z called Irreplaceable was chosen as the lead single. It stayed on top of the Billboard Hot 100 for 10 straight weeks, giving Beyoncé the most successful single of her career. She also had a UK #1 with Deja Vu. The following year, she released the B-Day anthology video album.
I always wanted to do a video album. While I was recording the songs, I could see the videos in my mind, but I didn't have time to do it before the release. So I said, I'm going to re-release the album when I have time and do a video for each song.
That mammoth job entailed filming 8 videos in the space of just 10 days. It was all hands on deck.
It was difficult. I did 8 videos in 2 weeks, which I don't know if anyone's ever done that. I can't believe I did it, but I had a lot of help and a lot of support. My hair and makeup team and my wardrobe, my mother and Ty and my choreographer, we all worked together and we were just grinding it out.
As if that hadn't been keeping her busy enough, she also put together a deluxe edition of the B-Day album, featuring brand new tracks and Spanish versions of some of the songs.
I decided to write some new songs that were a little more personal because B-Day was so aggressive. And I also did 6 songs in Spanish because my friends were, impressed when Destiny's Child sang with Alejandro Sanz a couple years ago at the Grammys, and they were like, you have to do some more Spanish. You sound like, you speak Spanish. So I tried it, and Irreplaceable was so well received, I decided to do a couple more.
Then it was back out on the road for her second solo concert tour. Supported by an all-female band of musicians, the Beyoncé Experience kicked off in Tokyo on April the 10th. As well as taking in Australia, the US and Europe, the 90-stop tour also stopped off in Shanghai to mark her first concert performance in mainland China. She also made it to Addis Ababa, Bangkok and Mumbai, much to the delight of her Indian fans.
One of the few major stars that actually come to India, which is, it's like no one comes here, first of all. And when Beyonce, who's got the moves, she's got the voice, she's got the talent, comes here, you're like, I have to come for Beyonce.
After one of her many costume changes during the Indian concert, she took to the stage in a traditional sari to sing Dangerously in Love. While there were no wardrobe malfunctions on that night, during a concert in Orlando, she got her heel caught in her floor-length jacket and tripped down a flight of stairs. The incident was recorded on a fan's mobile phone and became a hit on YouTube. It even found its way onto the nightly news on US network CNN. But even that didn't slow her down. After picking up yet another Grammy for Best R&B Contemporary Album, she knuckled down to the job of recording her 3rd solo album. According to Beyoncé, I Am Sasha Fierce was named after the character she likes to adopt when performing on stage. Following the release of its first 2 singles, If I Were a Boy and Single Ladies, I Am Sasha Fierce was released in November 2008, ahead of scheduled plans to get back out on tour in 2009.
It's so difficult. I think I'm doing like 40 songs, and I do the arrangements with my band, and that rehearsal time is so hard because, people come and they all have their favorite songs, and I want to always give the fans what they want, but I'm doing all the songs. I just do have to get creative with the amount and how to put them together so I can get them all together in 2 hours.
Reviews of the I Am tour had critics falling over themselves to do it justice. One reviewer wrote, "There is breathtaking elegance in her acute desire to entertain." Lorraine Schwartz of The Examiner decreed, "In less than a year, I've seen Madonna, Britney and Beyoncé. Beyoncé was by far the best of the 3. While Newsday wrote, "She proves that hot choreography and strong vocals don't have to be mutually exclusive. No worries of lip-syncing here." By this time, many people were wondering just how she does it.
I finished the last tour a year ago, and now here I am. I'm going to be on tour for another year. thank God I love what I do, and I have time in between. But, you know, I'm so excited, and this is what I was born to do. So it's my life, you know, and I couldn't imagine not being on tour doing records, so I have the time of my life on the stage.
Not content with having the time of her life on stage and in the studio, Beyoncé has also somehow found the time and energy to put together an impressive film career, which began with the made-for-TV film Carmen Hip Hop. Next, she had a small role in the Austin Powers sequel, Goldmember. Then, in 2003, she starred opposite Cuba Gooding Jr. in The Fighting Temptations as a gospel choir singer. Being only her second big screen role, she was nervous about how it would turn out.
I was terrified, and the first time I saw this, the same feeling, but I was so critical the first time. The second time was a little better. Now I can really watch it.
She still hadn't got over her screen fright by the time she arrived on set for the shooting of The Pink Panther, but director Sean Levy helped her overcome her fears.
Beyonce and I spent a week rehearsing. So we just went right at the fact that she's not an actress, it's not her day job, and let's not pretend that there isn't anxiety.
In the end, however, she took it all in her stride.
Well, it wasn't very difficult. I didn't have to do much research. I was playing an international singer. And it was so easy. It took me a couple weeks, and I got to work with the best Steve Martin and Kevin Kline, who I grew up watching their movies.
And she wasn't going to let a little thing like nerves get in the way of her ambition.
You know, I admire Barbra Streisand, Cher, Diana Ross, and they sang in a lot of their movies, but when they acted, they really acted, and they were really good. It doesn't matter to me. I eventually want to do a really big musical. That's my dream.
As usual, she didn't have to wait long. Within 2 years, she'd nailed her starring role in the big screen adaptation of 80s Broadway musical Dreamgirls, about all-girl group the Dreamettes. Despite the obvious similarities between her character's life and her own, there were many more differences.
Dina grew up in the projects of Detroit. I grew up in private school. I mean, I grew up with, you know, a middle-class life, and my drive does not come from me trying to get myself out of the projects. Yeah. My drive comes from seeing my parents be successful and have drive, and you know, my love for music.
The role brought her 2 Golden Globe nominations and an Oscar nomination for the song she wrote and performed, Listen. And by now, she'd become a dab hand at switching back and forth between careers.
Whenever I do an album and I do all the touring, and then I'm like, okay, after a year of it, I want to do something else. And I love the stability of the movies, and I just love doing something that I'm still learning. I'm new at. It's almost like starting over, which is really exciting. And then when I do that, the movie, I'm like, okay, I gotta get back in the studio. I want to go perform every night. So it keeps my life interesting, and that's my goal, to keep growing and keep learning and becoming more of an artist.
She proved that commitment by producing as well as starring in Cadillac Records, about real-life heroin-addicted soul singer Etta James.
The hardest thing, probably the emotional scenes. Every day I would come home with swollen eyes and having to think about the most painful things that have happened to me in my life, just so I can give an honest performance. It was difficult because I'm not a person that dwells on negativity, and it was hard, but you know, it was necessary, and I think I gave the best performance of my life.
Co-star Adrian Brody agreed.
She's so impressive. I was blown away, actually. I mean, she's a hard worker and immensely talented, and she sang so beautifully and was connected emotionally to the hard stuff, the real the vulnerability of Etta James, and I was really impressed.
Alongside her wildly successful careers in music and film, Beyoncé has also teamed up with her mum Tina to launch their own ready-to-wear fashion line called the House of Derion, which began in 2005. Since then, they've branched out into the world of mobile gaming with a social networking game called Beyoncé Fashion Diva. The Derion launch followed her collaboration with Tommy Hilfiger as the face of their new fragrance, True Star. The perfume proved to be so popular that within a year it was followed up by True Star Gold, with Beyoncé being very involved in the development process.
They actually, we have meetings and we go over the storyboards and visually how we want it to look and how we want it to smell. And we came up with this concept, True Star Gold, months ago. And then they go in the lab and they go through thousands and thousands of different smells.
She went through the process again 2 years later as the face of the Armani fragrance Diamonds. She and her little sister Solange also recently teamed up to promote a line of Mickey Mouse-themed accessories in Japan. According to Forbes magazine, that endorsement deal helped to take Beyoncé's earnings up to $87 million between June 2008 and 2009, putting her at number 4 on the 2009 Forbes Celebrity 100 list. Aside from her incredible professional achievements, Beyoncé is also known for her long-running relationship with Jay-Z. In 2007, upmarket underwear label Victoria's Secret named her and the rap impresario the world's sexiest couple, not to mention one of the richest. While Beyoncé continues to sell millions of albums, stage sellout tours, collect accolades and compile an impressive acting CV, Jay-Z reigns supreme as the world's richest rapper, with an estimated net worth of $340 million US. Despite their respective burgeoning profiles, she and Jay-Z have tried to keep their love life out of the public eye, with Jay-Z once stating, "We don't play with our relationship." Rumors of their romance date all the way back to Beyoncé's Destiny's Child days. But solid reports first emerged after she appeared in the video to Jay's 2003 single Bonnie and Clyde. Later the same year, they also collaborated on Beyoncé's smash Crazy in Love. In 2005, Beyoncé shouted down rumors that they were about to tie the knot by insisting they weren't even engaged. However, in April 2008, the cat was out of the bag after an early morning trip to Scarsdale Village Hall in New York.
Oh, I think that's so exciting. It's fun, it's exciting, and I can't believe they came all the way here to get a marriage license. That's very nice.
The press duly camped outside of Jay-Z's apartment, hoping to get a snap of the newly betrothed. Having finally found a window in their crazy schedules to put a ring on it, Beyoncé got around to confirming the news in the opening montage of a video to launch her album I Am Sasha Fierce. Since then, they've been less shy about appearing together in public and have become regular fixtures at each other's premieres and awards nights.
Come on!
Still only in her 20s, Beyoncé Knowles freely admits that life is pretty good.
I'm very blessed. I've had an amazing
to hit the big time. Their second album, The Writings on the Wall, peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200. In the year 2000, the group saw a few lineup changes, with LaToya and Latavia being replaced by Michelle Williams and Farrah Franklin. Farrah soon dropped out, clearing the way for Beyonce, Kelly and Michelle to become the most successful female group of all time. Michelle was soon made to feel part of the family.
It's like a marriage. You know how you need communication, you need love and loyalty and trust. What else, ladies?
It's very few times that, you know.
On to become Destiny's Child. Beyonce's salesman father Matthew had so much faith in his eldest daughter's talent that he abandoned his 6-figure salary to manage her singing career. That bold decision was rewarded in 1996 when Destiny's Child was signed to Columbia Records. The group, which included another of Beyonce's childhood friends, Latavia Robertson, as well as LaToya Luckett, recorded a song called Killing Time, which found its way onto the Men in Black soundtrack in 1997. That was swiftly followed up by their self-titled debut album. The album went gold and featured the lead single, No, No, No. But they had to wait another year.
You find that perfect person that's really rare. So it's not easy, and it isn't like one thing that you can say. It just has to be natural.
Right.
And we don't have to force our friendship. Right. We just really enjoy each other. And it was always natural for us.
Michelle joined the group just in time to record their third album, Survivor. Co-produced by Beyonce, the album went straight to number 1 on the Billboard charts and spawned the hits Independent Woman Part 1, Bootylicious, and the title single Survivor, written by Beyonce and her father Matthew. Survivor went on to win the group their 3rd Grammy Award for Best R&B.
Family, and I think I have unconditional love, and regardless if I'm a celebrity, singer, whatever, I have a life outside of that. I don't define my life by my success as a star, superstar, or whatever you want to call it. I do what I do because I love it, and I'm grateful that I have support and people that tell me the truth in my life.
Beyonce's charmed life began in Houston, Texas in 1981. By the age of 7, she was winning talent competitions. And just 1 year later, she and best friend Kelly Rowland were rapping and dancing in a group called Girls Time, which went